Hi, my name is Jess and I am a thriftaholic. I'm going to do a ship with me for my weekend sales. And so I wanted to share with you what sold, how long it took, and how much money I tend to make. And if I don't know the information on the top of my head, I will put it up in the corner for you, along with a picture, as everything almost is pre-wrapped. Okay, I sell across multiple platforms, and last week it was a little chaos. So I'm going to ship by platform, as I have my little cheat sheet. And I will let you know, I had another record-breaking sales for the weekend. I think I had 22 orders, which I think is a few more than last weekend. So I hope to continue up through Q4 to continue to break my record. However, I don't think I broke my gross sales because last weekend I had a lot of higher end items that sold. So I'll put the total of my gross up in the corner at the very end if you want to stick around. Greatly appreciate it. And before I get started, I know about half of you are not subscribed. Please hit the subscribe button if you are into this kind of content, as I will continue doing these Monday videos as long as I have the time for it. And also the hauls. I go shopping at least twice a week. So let's get started. All right, the first platform I'm going to start with is Thrilling. It is shopthrilling.com, and it is strictly a vintage platform for resellers. That it's kind of similar to Etsy, but you have to apply to sell there. I have a previous video, actually it's a ways away from my playlist. I made it about maybe almost a year ago, explaining the platform a little bit in detail. But if you want, my Instagram is also Thrifting as My Beach. You can send me a DM if you have any questions about that platform, as I have really enjoyed it. Okay, so I had 3 sales this weekend on Thrilling. And some of these items, I'm shocked that they sold because I've had them seriously for feels ever. One of the pairs I've had over a year. So the first thing that sold was a vintage pair of women's polyester high-waisted shorts. These were from Sears. I got them, I think, at the bins. And I'll let you know in the corner how long I had them. Back when I would do my old SKUs, I would put the date that I listed it, where I got it, the inventory number, and how much it weighs. That's how I keep track of when I do my taxes and also when I pull inventory. So I'll have all the info up in the corner. But all I do is I take off my inventory number, as it's just a simple handwritten piece. No, I don't have any fancy label makers or whatever. And these I think are all shipping priority, which is interesting because normally I have to ask for more weight, and they all had them go to 1 pound. So that was nice. So for Thrilling, they do want you to send a packing slip, which I can understand as a buyer, especially on a higher end platform. I have a lot of sales go to New York or to California. This company is based out of LA. So, okay, so here we have the shorts. We have the person's information. And what's interesting about Thrilling is on the return label, it actually is Thrilling. So you can write the name of your store on here, but I need to get a stamp. I'll need a stamp and label it. So I got my packing slip. I got this. That was for AZ8. So let me go to my Thrilling area. AZ8. And you know what? I did not write down the person's name, so that's just awesome. So oh, I have it right here in front of me. I thought I was going to have to reset the video. Okay, so I know who this is going to, which will really help me out. This one is going to Chloe. I love that name. Chloe. Here we go. And I have my free USPS envelopes that I use for Poshmark and Priority Apparel, as long as they fit. There's been numerous times for Thrilling, I will put my item in the bag, seal it up, and then later realize I didn't put the packing slip in there, which is annoying, but it happens. So then I will seal that one up. The next item I have is this vintage pinafore. Oh, that's my daughter. She's right. Vintage pinafore academia dress. This is actually a girl size 16. It was in the children's section, but I'll put a picture up in the corner. Total 90s vibes. It is from the 90s, and it fits like a women's small medium.
So I
hey, buddy. Shh. I know. I'll get in a second, okay? I'm recording a video right now. So this was like a small medium, and I was excited about it. I knew, I mean, children's size 16 is equivalent to an adult smaller medium. I always include measurements with vintage, and this sold. I don't remember the comps, so I'm just going to tell you what they sold for up in the corner. So make sure to look for that. And Y10 sold to Kyra, which is also a cute name. My goodness. Okay, so here's this. I'll just simply stick it on the label. Don't forget my packing slip. Sometimes, depending on how much the sale is, if I have time, I'll write, thank you for your supporting my small business, and I'll write my store name so they can go back to it. However, I don't know that you can shop by store name anymore. Really redid their internet, or their shop, it's based through Shopify, redid how they format their website, and unfortunately I don't think you can shop by store. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how it goes now. Okay, the next pair is the one that I've seriously had for like, I'm just realizing I shouldn't have printed it on this piece of paper, but that's okay. That I have had for over a year. I can't believe it took this long to sell. I had them priced decently, like around $30. They're a pair of mom shorts. They are pink denim, and I know it's color denim, but they're mom shorts. The brand is Michael G. I don't think that matters. I had these in a different color, and they sold within a month. But these lingered, unfortunately. But I'm selling them in going into winter, so just goes to show you. Let's see where these are going. North Carolina. You know, it's warm somewhere, right? Paige, where are you? You're gonna hear my daughter. I'll silence her thing. She's very Miss Independent. She's almost 2.5, and she'll just either hang in her crib, or she can climb out of her crib, and she'll look at her books. Her room is obviously kid-proof in case she does get out of her crib. She cannot open her door handle yet, thank goodness. That's a relief. So she just is in there, hanging out, looking at books. She will knock on the door or yell when she's ready to come out. So for now, I will keep her in there for a couple of minutes, because once I start doing shipping, I try to get it done. I'm not going to leave her in there for much longer, but once she wakes up, she usually wants to be snuggled a little bit on the couch while I get her breakfast. So I had those 3 sales for Thrilling. Now I'm going to move on to a different platform. Okay, the next platform I'm going to ship is going to be Etsy. I had 3 sales over the weekend for Etsy. It has picked up for me. It typically does the Q4, but I am more consistently listing. Okay, so the first item I'm going to discuss, I've already wrapped. I wrapped it last night because it was a 4-piece mixing bowl set, and it was from Pyrex. It was mid-century modern. It was like their primary colors. It had yellow, green, blue, red, and I believe they were the 401 through the 404. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my post about them. I went to a thrift store last weekend that I had never been to before, that I'm actually going to start going to whenever I'm in that town, and I got them for $6. Which is amazing. I sold them probably 3 years ago for about the same price. These I don't think were in as good of condition. They were used. So I just did disclose, you know, close-up pictures. In my description, I'm very detailed with everything, as I sell flawed items every day. So I did list them for $135 on Etsy. They weighed 10 pounds, and I put shipping at $25. I ship heavy items now through UPS Pirate Ship because it is covered if there's any claims. I do take additional insurance if it's valued over $100 to cover myself, especially the fragile items like this. So I'm going to put pictures. It was a process. That's why I wrapped this up last night after my kids were asleep. So I knew it was ready to go and I could sleep peacefully knowing I didn't have a huge item to ship which I'll get to later as I have another huge 2 items to ship that's going internationally. So I will put my process up here, as I've had some people ask me. Due to the size of the item, I wanted to keep the package under 18 inches, 18 inches or lower. I actually used one of my eBay boxes because they're very thick, and it was a 16 by 12 by 10. And I did have the mixing bowls all stacked in together. Some people prefer to break them apart, but due to size regulations, like, it would just cost too much to ship that way. So I actually made $10 on shipping. I think it went to Georgia. That's going to Georgia. And I'm here in Illinois, so it cost about $15 to ship, but it did take me a while. I used bubble wrap. I used foam paper. I forget what that's called. They do rests for dishes. And then I have always saved packing foam and the cardboard. So it's like egg cartons that you insert around. And so this puppy was not moving. You could try to shake it. Feel very confident with it. And I think on the box before, I've always just wrote fragile, but since this is UPS, I wrote high value item. I did that on a set of ornaments I sold a couple weeks ago for like $275 that were glass, very fragile, and they got to the buyer no problem. So I feel comfortable shipping with UPS. I will note, if you are not familiar yet, USPS, which I always used to ship priority because they pick it right up from my door. They have not paid out claims for me in 2021. I've lost like $50 so far, and so I've learned my lesson, and now I just do UPS pirate ship. Okay, and it's also cheaper since USPS keeps raising their rates. Okay, so those bowls, I wrapped them really well. I feel very confident. They're going UPS. Here comes my daughter. And I have that by the door, $135, and it sold in like 5 days, if that. It did say it was a gift for somebody. I never put packing slips in my items unless, like I stated, for thrilling, you're required to. Okay, so that was a nice profit. As I said, I only paid $6. It did take a little bit of time to ship it, but as long as that's over $100, I really don't care. Okay, now the next item that sold, I saw a lot of agricultural branded apparel and accessories like hats. I'm from Illinois, rural Illinois, so there's a lot of like Pioneer, Channel, I mean, you name it. Like this one has Funks, so there's a lot of chemical companies and stuff like that I find, and a lot of it's vintage. The vintage stuff sells really well. I can sell the modern stuff, but not for near as much. So here we have, the brand is Swingster. I'll put the tag up here so you keep your eye out for it. Swingster does have a little bit of a following. I have sold just a plain red Swingster zip-up jacket for at least $40 recently. So if you do find it out in the wild and it's in decent condition, you may consider picking it up. I think this may have a few faint blemishes on it. I'm not for sure. It's a red puffer vest, and it has the patch. The patches on hats and apparel tend to do the best. I always make sure I include it in the item description. So this one sold, I can't tell you for how much, so I'm going to put all the information up in the corner as long as a picture of it, and it's sold on Etsy. It is 15 ounces, right under a pound, so shipping is more affordable for me. And this one is going to, let's see, this one is going to Monica, and this will be considered first class. For Etsy, I try not to use any branded items. I try to use just plain shipping supplies, since they are typically paying a little bit more than my eBay. However, I haven't invested in large poly mailers, so I still am using my eBay ones, and I forgot to get packing slips. So I'm going to have to take this one down because I don't want to stop recording and re-record. I typically use those cover slips for first class. That way it's less tape, more convenient, and it just looks more professional. Hey buddy, can you go shut the bathroom door, please?
I already shut it.
Oh, you did? Okay, I thought I heard, were you washing your hands? Or brushing your teeth? My daughter, as most little toddlers, I'm sure, loves to brush her teeth. Well, she will use anybody's toothbrush, including mine. So I'm gonna buy a new toothbrush in the near future. Hey, what you doing?
Maybe just playing in her room.
Just playing in her room.
Maybe.
Okay. My daughter's also becoming less into trouble, I should say. Anytime I would turn my back on her before, she would be into something she shouldn't. But we've learned our lesson, put pretty much everything away that she shouldn't get into. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Oh, stickers? Cool. Alright, and then the last item to sell on Etsy is actually, I don't have this one wrapped yet. It's a vintage musical Christmas bear. I believe this is from the 80s. It's made in Taiwan. Batteries go on the back. Plays Christmas music. I always include, if it is animated or it's musical, I include a video clip across the platforms that will allow me. I will also include a video clip on eBay. It's pretty simple. I did YouTube, but you go to flippertools.com, which is free to do, and you upload it. You do have to upload it on YouTube, so you do have to have some kind of channel, but you upload the video to YouTube and you copy and paste the URL link, put it into Flipper Tools, copy that code. But for this one, you have to go on the desktop for eBay. You can't be on your phone. And you have to go to the HTML. When you're putting it into your description, go to the HTML version, paste in the code, hit save, and you'll see the video pop up. And that way people, I feel like I sell a lot of items that way, but maybe over other sellers, because I have included a video and buyers are more confident that it is going to be a functional working item. So that's just a little side note for you if you are an eBay seller. I know Poshmark, Facebook, Etsy now includes little video clips. Hey buddy, can you go in the other room while you look at your books, please? Por favor. Alright, so this cute little bear I got for free. I sold one similar to him that was branded Lloyd's, something Lloyd's, which used to be a brand I think sold at Bergner's back in the day. I sold that one for $50. This one is less desirable, I believe, but I made my own comps and this one sold for $30. It's all pure profit. So the bear is going to Joan. And it is priority mail. Now for plush, as long as it's not like a high value plush, I do is just simply put it in a poly mailer. This one, I'm going to put a couple things of bubble wrap over its face, like this, and it has a plastic heart that lights up, and it plays to the beat. It goes to the beat of the music. So I simply use Saran wrap on a lot of my items to secure things and just to help vacuum seal it. So I will simply wrap this around this guy tightly, and that's why I don't like to wrap vacuum seal for a period of time, because sometimes items can get misshapen and it takes time to reshape. So hey Chip, remember what mommy asked you to do? Can you go see what your sister is doing first, and then can you take your books to the living room? Can you do that for me, please? Thank you. My 4-year-old is such a great help. Great helper, isn't he? We're actually quarantining right now because he was exposed, unfortunately, at his preschool, and I'm shocked at how well he's doing. I thought for sure he would, you know, be climbing on the walls and everything just because he's used to structure in school, but he's actually doing super well. He's been a great helper, and he's playing with my daughter. It's like all a win-win. Plus, I can spend more time with him. I've missed him while he's been at school. Okay, that one is ready. All right, so those are my 3 Etsy orders. I'm going to grab more items, and we'll move on to the next platform. Now we're going to move on to Poshmark. I had, I think, 5 sales for Poshmark. This week, 6, sorry. I had 6 sales for Poshmark. I forgot to grab a bag for a diaper bag. I sold this diaper bag overnight. It's the brand Oh Lily. It was more popular, I believe, a few years ago. It's a nice brown pink paisley print. It was new without tags. It still had, I think, tissue paper wrapped around the buckle. I'll insert a picture over here. And it sold, I can't remember, I believe Poshmark VA sent out like an automatic discount after a person likes an item for after 5 minutes. They send out an offer. I can't remember the discount. I think it's only like 15%, maybe 20%. And I only have those offers sent out after an item has been listed for more than 7 days. I feel like if it's been more than 7 days, I am likely to accept an offer or a lower price. So this one sold to, I'm not sure. So I'll have to set that one to the side because I didn't write down who it went to. And we'll move on to the next item. The next one was fun. My daughter wore this last year, so it was nice. It's a vintage 90s Oshkosh bubble jumpsuit. It's like a Christmas plaid. It's absolutely adorable. It's flannel. It did show wash wear, which is pretty typical with flannel. And I did start this out pretty high. I did list it after last Christmas, so it makes sense it wouldn't sell till this season. I had an offer of, I think I had this one listed for $65 or $75 on Poshmark, and somebody sent me an offer for $50. I accepted, so my profit was $40. And my daughter actually wore this one, so that was nice. So AU4 is going to Hannah. I love selling kids' clothes. I am more selective, obviously. Hey, buddy, be careful because my tripod's right there. I am more selective because you have to be careful depending on your business model, just because I like to make more money per item now. I am back as I just knocked all my labels on the floor. Okay, so back to the Oshkosh. Cute little jumpsuit. I hope some little kid enjoys this. I guess mom, the kid really won't care. It's comfy though, it's flannel. I could keep this for my last daughter, but the chances of her fitting into it, you know what I mean, like she's not even born yet. So the next item for Poshmark would be, am I going to pull out? Okay, so men's Levi jeans. I got these either at the bins or $1.50 day. I'll put in the corner my cost of goods and all the information. I did have these for a bit. They're black denim. They have the black Levi's patch. They seem more of like a modern piece. They sold on Poshmark. They are pretty standard. I was happy to see them go. I'm more selective with what Levi's I pick up now. I will pick up vintage ones, but I would pass on these probably in the future. So, off to their new home. I always love giving clothes a new life. I do a lot of my shopping. I guess I don't pay up for many items unless, you know, it's gonna pay off. So only a couple dollars typically on each item, if not a lot less. Okay, the next item to sell I've had forever is a formal dress. It was really pretty and it was a really nice size. It was like a 14 or a 16. This went to ThredUp and didn't sell, reclaimed it, finally sold. Happy to see it go. I believe this was new with tags. Really cute halter style, and it had like a taffeta layered skirt if I remember correctly, but you'll see the picture. So SL Fashions is the brand. I pass on it now. So, but I'm glad it found a new home. So this is going to Amy. And I actually didn't print the label off until I went down my inventory and made sure I had it, because I thought maybe I had sent it back to ThredUp, which is always a mistake, you know, that you forget to delete something from your inventory. I do not like that, especially when it sells and you have to cancel an order. It's happened to me a few times recently, which is unfortunate and not good on my part. So the next item to sell is a Lulu's bodysuit. I got this at the bins. I debated on it because I knew I wouldn't net much, but I sell bodysuits all the time. or previously I did, the cost of, or the ASP will get brought down because I think this didn't sell for a whole lot, but it sold in a decent amount of time. So I will take it and move on. I guess if I have an item and I'm very confident it will sell and sell fast, I will pick it up even if it's going to be only 20 bucks. Like if it's new, if it's easy to photograph, or brands like Carhartt and such, if I'm confident, I will still pick it up. But, oh, my packages are getting ready to slide off this table. Okay, so there goes that one. I'll put all the info up in the corner. As I was very busy, like I said, I had a record sales weekend, and I was actually expecting to see a decrease in sales because my daughter had surgery this last week. We had some other doctor's appointments, and whenever we have all this, you know, it's always out of town, so it takes a lot of time during the day, and luckily cross-posting saved me. So here we have an older style. I'm kind of selective with Prana. It doesn't sell for me as fast as it used to, but the pieces I find typically aren't current styles. So this is a Prana hooded tunic sweater. It's nice ombre gray, but it was like a fitted style. It wasn't the loose, flowy, more modern pieces you see today. This one did sell Poshmark, and it is going off to its new home. It did sell within a shorter period of time. I'm going to say under 30 days. But I can't keep track of all my inventory. I got distracted. That's one thing with me filming while shipping. Like I said, I don't do it very often, or I haven't in the past because I'm always afraid I'm going to make a mistake. But I feel like if I can do it by platform instead of just random, it would help. So, okay. There's that one. And that's all we have. For Posh, we are going to start shipping for Facebook, which, if you don't know, I think yesterday Facebook announced that they are going to start covering the shipping for items as a promotion. And when I got the notice, it said for items under $20, which is okay, but a lot of my items are over $20. However, I sold a pair of boots yesterday and they got free shipping, so I'm not sure how that promo works, but I always see at least a 30% increase in my sales when they offer the free shipping. Okay, so next we are moving on to Facebook, and I got my box ready. These boxes from eBay work great for hats. It's a 10 by 8 by 6. I used my coupon code and works great. I typically don't like selling hats unless they're for 10 bucks and just a poly mailer because the bill can be damaged. And I do sell mostly vintage hats for more. So here we have, and I'll put a picture up in the corner. You can't really see it that well, but I showed this in a recent haul. I think I got this at the bins in Cedar Rapids a couple weeks ago. And it had tons of activity, tons of likes. I did have some lower offers, but I always hold out. The corduroy hats, it's a rope hat as well, always do really well. It was embroidered. It has an eagle on it. It's for West Cliff, Colorado. I'll have to see if it's going back to Colorado or not. I don't think it is. So this one sold overnight, and here comes my cat. So I'm just going to stick it in the box. I use packing paper that's actually considered drywall paper. It's by the tape section in Menards, and it is like a little under $3 a roll for a lot of it, and it seems to be the most affordable option. I have been wrapping a lot more of my items lately, just so they look more presentable. But realistically, people don't care as long as they get their item and it was wrapped nicely, and you can tell that it was wrapped nicely. That's all they care about. And I get a lot of comments about people saying very well wrapped. So here comes Lucy. You probably saw her in my older videos. If you are a regular, she was a little tiny kitten last year. And now she is about a year old. Okay, so this hat is going first class. I like first class shipping rates for Facebook. because it goes up to 15.9 ounces, which is always helpful because sometimes I get those items that are like 15 ounces. And so they get a cheaper shipping rate since it's under a pound. And this actually probably weighs like 10 ounces typically in a box, but it's a range of weights for these labels. I do use labels to Facebook unless it's a heavier item that I want insured, because Facebook does not refund your money if it's damaged. In my experience, it may have changed since then, but I will put one more piece of tape on this flap, and then we'll move on to the next item that's sold on Facebook. Okay, so I haven't wrapped these up yet, but I showed these in a haul probably month and a half ago, because time flies. And I was going to list them individually, but then I realized they weren't as old as I thought they were, and they came from a smoker's home. I got a Barbie case that I sold a couple weeks ago for like $40, and there were Barbies in there. I can't remember if I've sold any of the other Barbies yet, but I just sold these, I think, for $29. They're just the Ken dolls. This is like a junior Ken. This one talks. I did test him out. Now he's not working. I wonder if I have batteries in him. Oh, yeah, I did take the batteries out because I don't like shipping with batteries, because I believe you're supposed to do ground shipping for safety reasons, obviously. So I'm going to wrap these up, and I got them, like I said, with that suitcase. So I've already made lots of good profit, and now I'm just happy to send these off to their new home. These are going priority. They are over a pound. I will pick up Barbies even if they're not dressed. I don't care. I typically only pick them up if they're at the bins and they're older. My daughter is getting into Barbies, but she's already got enough. So you don't see Kens very often, and that's kind of like what made me do it. If it was just a suitcase, I probably would have not. I check comps when I'm out thrifting on eBay, but I go with my gut as well. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm glad I did, because I always, when the comps aren't that great on eBay, it tends to sell on Etsy or Facebook. Blows me away. So trial and error, you will learn. Trust me, I've gone through lots of just making my money back or hardly any profit. So I'm going to use a box that's probably too big for it because it's already made up, but it is shipping priority if I can grab it with my foot. As my belly gets bigger, it gets harder and harder for me to move. So that diaper bag was too big, too long to fit. So just shoving all of it in there actually fits pretty well. Sorry for the noise. It is a ship with me, so you get the full effect. So I put my packing paper in there. My general rule is I don't want something to move around in the container or poly mailer if it's breakable or can be breakable. So that's my general rule. Do the shake test. You don't hear anything, so it's great. Alright, so these Barbies are going to don't mind my son's dinosaur. These are going to carry. And I don't see the label, so maybe I didn't print it yet. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side. Apparently I never printed the label. Alright, the next item, or the last item, I only sold 3 items on Facebook this weekend, which is fine. I'll take it. I'm guessing it will continue to increase. I actually have these wrapped up in a priority mailbox, but they are 3 pounds. Typically when items are 3 pounds or more, I ship UPS because it's cheaper depending on where it's going and which platform. There's some variables. Do what works for you. I'm just sharing what works for me. I am reusing this box. So I will reuse this box. I don't do it for like Etsy or anything, but for Facebook, people generally have lower expectations of packaging. Just my general thought. Like when I buy stuff off Facebook, a lot of times it's just people selling their own stuff. So, are you poopy? Are you poopy?
My
My daughter had eye surgery 4 days ago, so her eye's red and a little swollen, but she is such a trooper, aren't you? Okay. Here's a pair of boots. Again, you can't, thank you. You can't always go by comps. The brand is Larry Mahan. They're made in the USA. They look like a quality vintage boot. Forget the style of them. But they were listed for $74 on Facebook, which is why I had them listed on eBay. And I do have people frequently message me on Facebook and ask if I'll take a lower offer. And I typically will because the fees are cheaper. And I didn't pay up for these boots. I got them for pretty cheap. So I spent $65 and this buyer did get free shipping. So great profits for me, and person should be happy. The quality, like, it's just genuine, really thick leather, because they asked if it was soft or hard leather. And so I let them know it was really thick, like the old quality stuff. And they were already broken in. That's important to buyers. I know this tape is probably super, super loud on camera, but it's part of the experience. So yeah, for Facebook, I will reuse these boxes. Anything to help save the planet, but also make the buyer happy. Oh yeah, I gotta get the label on it. You do want to make sure what previous box it used to be. There are limitations. You don't want to send something that has like a corrosive sticker on it or something, because they will not ship it. So this one is going to, and again, I don't have my, where is my label? It's on the floor. Okay. So I had one Mercari sale. It has picked up for me over the last couple weeks as far as sales on Mercari. And it's a brand I hadn't heard of before. It's Softies. And it was just like a one-piece pajama. It was velour, very soft, very cozy. I didn't even check comps at the thrift store because it was new tags. If it wasn't worth it, I was just going to keep it myself. But it was this really pretty jewel tone. And it's sold on Mercari. And I just ripped the bag that I keep it in. Let me tape that up. I always like to have it sealed, just in case the bag gets damaged. Just for like extra protection. So there's that. And this is going FedEx Smart Post, which I've talked about before. Is actually not that much slower, if any slower, depending on where it's going in the country, than Priority Mail. So you get great rates. 2 to 3 pounds is like $7.99, and up to 5 pounds I think is like $9.99. Very affordable. UPS SurePost is also now offered on Mercari, so I could, if I wanted to, ship this for like $7.59 or whatever. And my other platforms have picked up. So the other day, 2 days ago, I think I listed 15 new items on eBay. And if I was smarter, I'd probably space it so I only list, like, just keep them in as drafts. So every day I can list new stuff. I always end listings and do sell similar daily to keep my inventory at the top of the search as much as possible. I also use promoted listings. I used to do trending rates, but I found the fees were just too much. And so now I just do the promoted listing flat rate of 3%. And you only get charged if the item sells through that promotion, and I do see quite a bit. So let's talk about this. I found an all over print sweatshirt of like a mountain scene. I think it was branded like a location somewhere in Montana. This all over print stuff is pretty hot. Usually when I price mine up, it takes a while to sell, to find the right buyer. I do have some older all over print stuff I need to lower the price on. I just think it's so cool. I I try to hold out, but I need to be more realistic. And I'm sorry, but my eyes are like so puffy. Ugh. Okay, so this one sold yesterday on eBay for $99.99. So it sold for $100. I think I paid $3 for it. I've had it listed, I'll tell you, for like maybe a month. And it's going back to Montana, so that's always cool. I need to find my cheat sheet. My daughter tried running off with it. So 015 is going to Angela. This is actually going priority. Weighs 15 pounds. The way it works, depending on location, sometimes shipping flat rate is cheaper than shipping first class. And sometimes, if I'm shipping first class, like to California, it can take a hot minute to get there. So I feel like the buyer would probably just prefer priority if it's only a few cents more. But we'll wait and see. I currently have a package that I shipped through Poshmark a couple weeks ago. And it's looping around New York and has been for a week. The buyer messaged me because I didn't realize it till the buyer reached out. And I called USPS and they're like, yeah, I've never seen it before. It says shipping exception or something weird. And so I Googled it and it said it means like there's a delay with the carrier for some reason. But I've never seen that before, and USPS says they haven't either. And so they're going to email the New York postal system and see what's up with that. And so anyways, the buyer's like, hey, call USPS. And they weren't like overly friendly, but they weren't like, give me my money. You know what I mean? And so I respond, like I hit reply. So they were tagged and notified that I commented back and let them know I called USPS and they were reaching out to the one in New York and we should hear an update Monday. So today's Monday. And she messaged me again last night. And this is what I responded to Saturday afternoon. Like I got on top of it, made the phone call, whatever. And I don't know if she didn't see the comment or what, but she said like the same thing, but maybe a little bit meaner. And so I'm like, great. She's going to get this item or she's just going to ask for her money back and get the item. So I'm hoping with Poshmark, I'll still get paid out. But I don't know. It's the holiday season, so things will get a little crazy. Just try not to lose your... Just try not to lose yourself. Okay, here's some smaller items that sold. Nothing crazy. I think I initially got this from my daughter. She never wore it. It's the brand Mud Pie. A lot of people love dressing their kids in certain brands, Mud Pie being one of them. So this one was P7. I have had this listed for like a year. I used to pick up a lot of the more modern boutique-y kids brands, and I pass on them now. It's funny how our business has changed, so I'm just happy to sell this. If not, I was just going to keep it. But again, I don't know if it would work for my kid. So, all right. I've got a few left. One surprised me, and I'll get to that in a minute with you guys. Just goes to show you whatever it retails for doesn't necessarily mean. I'll get to it in a minute. But let me know in the comments down below how your sales have been and which platform you're seeing the most sales. I did in 2019 and 2020 try to sell on Depop, try to make an effort. I think at one time I had like 75 listings up. I tried modeling the clothes, like the whole Depop aesthetic, and I think I made like 2 sales. It was totally not worth my time, and people are always lowballing me or sending me spam saying their closet's on sale or whatever. So I'm just like, you know what, for time's sake, this is not worth my time cross-posting. So I did delete it, and I Googled, because there's no like cancel account or whatever. So I Googled it, and apparently you have to email Depop with like this certain email and say cancel account. And I don't think I ever got a confirmation, but I tried logging in one day and it said that this account's been suspended. So apparently it worked, but just know that that was a little confusing. They may have changed it since now. I it has changed a bit because that was 6 months ago. Okay, right here I have a DVF Diane von Furstenberg silk floral print dress skirt. I'll put up in the corner. I typically stick to dresses, but I think I got this really cheap, like I get most of my stuff. And it did take, I think, like 6 months to sell. From now on, I'll probably just send her stuff to ThredUp, as I'm doing pretty well there. AZ13, this is Sophia. So I am going to run out of poly mailer bags. I never grabbed the right amount. And I have my wheeled cart. I'll take a picture of it and put it in the corner for you guys. It has been total lifesaver. I actually found that on the curb for trash week. You know, I got it for free and nothing is wrong with it. And I keep my poly mailers in there and my computer paper, my labels, all that stuff, my printer ink. And but it's on wheels, and you'd think I would wheel it to my location to save me time walking back and forth. I don't know why. It's a bad habit of mine. So here we go. Sophia, I hope you enjoy your skirt. Really cute. Okay. All right, the next one. I think this was in the house when we moved here. It's a Realtree Drake, like insulated hat that wraps around and velcros under your chin. It's like the hardcore kind. It had some elastic holders in the back for some gun shells for like hunting. And I did a Google image search, and you can get it brand new for $20 on Amazon, shipped. And I sold mine used for $20 plus shipping on eBay. I had some lowballer on Poshmark offer me like $8 and then $10, and I just declined. I don't block people unless it's like excessive. I just move on. Okay, so this, yeah, it sold for $20. We've had it for 4 years, never wore it, and I'm like, you know what, it's camo, it's Realtree, I think we can get a few bucks for it, and we did. The Realtree hat is going to Marsha. It's a name you don't see very often anymore. So I've had a killer headache. I have been incredibly hormonal. Next week I'll be in my 3rd trimester. And my hormones are totally raging. And so yesterday I just had a total, like, just cried everything day. And, so yeah. Whenever I cry, my eyes always get swollen and I get like a pressure headache. So that is going to be my day. I get headaches quite frequently. When I do, I take medicine, but it doesn't always work. And this sounds so weird, but it works for me because they're like sinus pressure headaches. Because, you know, like my eyes are swollen and stuff. And I wear like a baseball hat. I wear baseball hats all the time, but I'll wear it tight so it puts pressure on my temples and it helps with the pain. I know it's weird. It works for me, and I'm using a huge poly mailer because I have it next to me for this little hat, and I'll just wrap it around because I'm lazy. So I have to take my kiddos into town and drop these items off. I hate dropping them off with my kids, but it is what it is. I do ship every Monday regardless, unless it's a holiday. The last item to sell on eBay I have had for probably 9 months, if not a year, is a slip dress. It's actually a full slip. It's beige. It's very simple. There's no excessive lace on it. Nothing. It's not designer. This is back when slip dresses were like really big. I got 2 of them. I sold one pretty quick for like $25. I think this one sold for $20 or around there. But I could get a poly mailer. This one's going to Abigail. I forgot to include something that is super awkward to ship, as well as those heavy dishes. So I sold two 16 by 20 90s Pokemon posters with like the old school super cheap frames. There's no glass or plastic. I think there's a plastic cover, but it's not breakable. So I feel confident in shipping it. However, I bought them for $2. I sold them for $70. Plus it's going international, which makes me kind of nervous just because, but I shipped through GSP. And I did change, so my question was, and why I didn't show shipping is because I thought I might have to cancel the order because the buyer, I don't know where the buyer's from, but when I put in my dimensions for listing the item, I put it in incorrectly for like a 7" by 4" and I put 2 pounds. And once it's all safely wrapped and stuff, I think it'll be 3 pounds, and it'll be like 22 by 18 by 5, which is a big size difference, and it is over 18 inches in one dimension, which brings shipping more. And so I was changing it from priority mail to FedEx ground, and it's only going to cost $9.68 to ship to Kentucky. However, I wasn't sure if the buyer would incur additional charges since it was more and they had already paid for their shipping up front. So a little tip in case you're not familiar and you are an eBay seller is if you have a question about eBay, that you can message them via Facebook. It seems to be the fastest, most reliable way to get a real person. And I got my answer that it's not going to affect anything. I can just change my shipping. So there you go. That's my last item I sold for $70, and it's going somewhere overseas. Enjoyed. I am going to put the total here. I think, like I said, I think I had 22, maybe 23 sales for the weekend. And again, it's pretty equal across the platforms. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I love watching Ship With Me is What Sold, just to see how everybody has their own system. And I'm continually changing mine. I know for some reason I thought I had a video of my, like how I do my inventory, and I don't. So I need to do that and show you how I store all my stuff. I do have lots of places to store. So I store, this is why I pre-seal all my stuff and put it in sealed totes with lids, because I do store it. We have a partially finished basement, and then we have a garage that we don't use for our cars because it's never clean enough. And I have tons of shelves in there that my husband built, and lots of totes. And like I said, I have my number system. I think, gone over this before in previous videos, but it's been a while, and I went back to try to find it for somebody, and I couldn't. So I figured I might as well make a video. So maybe this week I'll tackle that. But that's all I got for you. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And have a great day. Bye.